it's Ellie. You found the Hidden Grove, and today I'm going to be talking about my deck basket that I've been using for the past 2 months. So these are just the set of decks that I've brought from downstairs to upstairs, which basically means upstairs is where I use my decks, but downstairs is where I store all of my decks. So I kind of assembled a group of decks back in September to bring upstairs to use, and I've been using them since then. And I guess for the foreseeable future, whenever the wind changes, I guess I'll change the decks. But I just wanted to go over what I've been using for the past 2 months. I think it's very interesting to see what kinds of things people are using, especially in these end of summer, early fall months. Okay, so I centered the decks I chose around these two oracle decks, the Death Doula Oracle and the Sacred Symbols Oracle. We'll start talking about this one. So the Death Doula Oracle, I kind of chose this first for the decks I would use this in this basket, because I guess I have recently been dealing with kind of these small losses in my life, kind of dealing with the sadness of losing some friendships over the years, and I was really feeling that hard a couple months ago. So I brought out the Death Doula Oracle, which is pretty new deck for me. I mean, new, I guess 3 months new. I've had it for 3 months, and it's pretty new for me, and I hadn't been really drawn to it until I realized I was dealing with some sad memories, or just kind of hurts from these small deaths in my life, losses of friends and things like that. So let me just put this down to go through it. But so that's why I really wanted to make use of this deck, and I had some really beautiful readings for it with it. And I enjoyed the guidebook as well. The guidebook, it has like little blurbs for each card, but then also at the bottom of the blurb, it sends you to different parts of the book for either meditations or like journaling, or different practices that are related to each card. And I really like that. So then you'll like kind of index it and go to the back for each of these meditations or rituals, or so I thought that was cool. I didn't really use the meditations, but I enjoyed reading them over and then reflecting on the meaning of the cards, and a lot of it, it was really hitting home for me at that time. So I used that deck mainly with the Pagan Otherworlds Tarot, and let me just put those side by side to show you how that worked out for me. I really loved this combination. Plus Pagan Otherworlds kind of feels like the perfect deck for this season, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of an all-season deck. It's good for any season, really. But I think these decks just go so beautifully together. Oh, let me center this. There we go. I think these decks just go so beautifully together, and I had some really profound readings with them. I'm just looking at how beautiful this combination is. I'm really loving it, and I'm glad that I made this choice to use these together. It was really awesome. And then I also, in the basket, have my trimmed copy of the Thoth Tarot. And I thought this also went pretty well with the Death Doula oracle. I really like the combination of Lady Frida Harris's artwork and then the photography. And I really love this photography. It's like you can tell that it was overlaid. I don't really know photography terms, but like multiple exposures. Like she took one shot and then put something else over it and took another shot on the same film. So I think that came out really cool, if anyone knows what that technical term is called. But I liked this combination too. These readings were I think less accessible for me than the Pagan Otherworlds were. The Pagan Otherworlds, I was really able to access that emotion I was looking for, kind of like reading about those hurts and those sadnesses and those losses. I don't know, the thoth for me, I love my thoth tarot, but honestly, it's more of like a daily reader for me, like almost like smaller messages, or it wasn't right for the type of reading I was looking for with the Death Doula Oracle. I was looking to access kind of those bigger feelings and those larger messages about friendships. And even though the thoth, I think, worked visually beautifully, it wasn't giving me those kind of readings. So let's go back to the Pagan Otherworlds. I'll show you kind of a combination reading I did. So I used the Death Doula in the middle, and I would pick one main card from this, and then I would have two different on either side Pagan Otherworlds, either to hold on to and release, or just a dual system like that, like from the body and from the mind, or things like that. And then I also drew, because this ended up giving me kind of a big picture, kind of emotional feeling reading. And then also in my box, I would draw from the Sovereign Oracle, and these were more kind of practical terms to how to access these feelings and how to access these bigger emotional things coming up. So I would draw them too on either side, and this also went to connect my tarot with the oracle message on either side. So this is kind of interesting. King of Swords, permission, and then exaltation, and then the Three of Wands with opportunity, like looking forward, and kind of you see the ships and this kind of forward building of your future through planning and forward thinking and perspective. And then weirdly enough, I was really like pulled to use a deck that I've had for months, and I actually went downstairs to bring it up into my box, that I thought I just didn't like this deck, and I actually tried to rehome it or like trade it multiple times. And then randomly with this reading I did, I mean, it wasn't this exact cards, but this reading I did with this set of cards, I just was like, wow, you know what deck would really be amazing right now and I really would like insight from? And it was the Reclaim Oracle. And I pulled one card to go along with my reading, and the card I got just was so perfect. And I, in the past, really felt not great about this deck, because I felt like I would pull a card, and since so many of these cards are kind of those speaking to those difficult feelings, like here's hate, like there's a hate card. I mean, there's humility, but there's also sadness, discouragement. I felt like when I did use this deck in the past, I was kind of drawn into a negative space unnecessarily when I didn't have to be. But with a reading like this, when I was really trying to access those emotions, this deck was perfect. And I drew maybe one card to go along with my reading like this, and kind of have it off to the side. And it was like the overarching feeling. Here we have worry. And it was perfect. And I have been struggling to use this deck for so long, and I found the place. So yeah, this was the deck combination that was the best for me for that specific messaging I was looking for, that specific emotional reading I was trying to get. And then, so yeah, We have Death Doula. We have Pagan Otherworlds. This is the Sovereign Oracle. And they're these kind of just these messages, like these little messages that are more practical. And they have kind of suggestions for how to embody these messages. They feel like very practical to me, like of this world, of the earth, of action, which helps when you are having a bigger, more abstract reading to kind of pull it back down. Okay. So that was for the ouchies, the ouchie readings. That's so lame that I just said that, but it really was for those like kind of stuck hurt feelings that I was dealing with this month. And then I had the more practical readers when I wasn't trying to get too emotional, and these were just kind of fun pairings that I was playing with for the month. And I was using the Sacred Symbols Oracle. I love this oracle deck. I in the past have used it with the Ritual Tarot. I love that pairing, but I was like, let's see what else I can pair this with. It's so practical because it's just a color and then a symbol, and it encapsulates a reading so well. It pairs with so many things, as I'm about to show you the pairings I used with it since September. And I love the messages, and the guidebook is really great too. So yes, this was another one of my central, let's see, where am I in the image? Okay, and then the first thing I paired it with was the Jubledance Tarot. And I'm getting used to this deck still. I think I made a video when I first got it. It was like maybe 5 months ago or something like that. But I'm really liking it. I love that it's like pip style collage, which I feel like is pretty rare. Here we go. So I used these together, and I'm such a border person. I really enjoy borders on decks, especially when I'm pairing them, because if they're different art styles, the border kind of gives me that degree of separation I need. But these are awesome together. Woman of Swords, Nature Spirit, and Ten of Cups. Seven of Discs, Shift, and Swords. Yeah, I just think the colors go really well together. Jubledance is a really colorful deck, so it's nice to have that like one singular color in the middle, and then kind of try and pull in this color from the cards on the outside. You can kind of look in there and find the colors that match from the inside of the card. So yeah, I really liked this combination. And then what else? I also used this deck with a new one that I got secondhand recently, the Omni Tarot. And I had been seeing this tarot deck for a really long time around like Tarot Tube, and I saw people using it, and I've always really liked the aesthetic of it, but I never got it because I was like, what more does it give me? What more does this card give me as the Empress past like an RWS deck or like any other deck? Does it really give me more symbology? And I was feeling like I couldn't get it because it wasn't like deep and like has this extra bit of like knowledge that it could provide me. But at the end of the day, I just really like the aesthetic of it, and it's enjoyable for me to look at, and I can still use it as a tool because I know the meaning of the tarot. So it's just, yeah, and I found it for a pretty good deal on Marketplace, secondhand. So I decided, why not? You know what? I like the way it looks. I don't need it to be like incredibly profound for me to use it and enjoy it. And it also pairs really well with this oracle deck that I love. So that's a fun realization. Yeah, these pair really great together. It's interesting because even though the Omni Tarot is kind of like a limited color palette, for some reason all of the colors in the Sacred Symbols deck like work with it. Love this. Yeah, these just look so great together. And then the last deck that I paired with the Sacred Symbols is the New Choice Tarot de Marseille. I think this deck is so beautiful. I mean, the line work is just incredible. Like, this is just so stunning. And I enjoy the beautiful people in it. I mean, gorgeous, gorgeous, perfect. Yes. And, oh, I'm forgetting to change the middle card, but it looks really good with the Sacred Symbols as well. Ooh, this stormy card, and looks so good with our High Priestess here. Yeah, I enjoyed this a lot. So that was the last of my pairings for what I used these past 2 months. And then let's talk about one more deck that I used for my daily draws. So I generally use a different deck for daily draws than I'm using for my readings. And I was using the Medieval Scapini Tarot for my daily draws these past 2 months. And I will probably continue using it for another month or so. I don't know. I think these decks in this basket are good for another month for me before I'm gonna want to switch it up. I know people sometimes rotate their decks like every single month. That feels too fast for me. I think because I don't like use tarot every single day besides I do a daily draw, but I don't like use my other decks, you know, the ones I'm pairing with oracle decks. I don't use them every day. So I don't feel like I'm using them enough in 1 month to be able to then rotate again. So I think a 3-month cycle is comfortable for me, but I've been using this deck. I love the little silly images. The image isn't what I would expect for the card and the card meaning. And then I'm like, I wonder if there's a different meaning than like traditional, because this isn't a Marseille deck, because it doesn't have that like Marseille configuration in the pip cards. And I'm thinking, oh, maybe the author Scapini, maybe there's a different meaning he has for each of these cards. And then you go to the guidebook and it's pretty much just the standard RWS meanings. But these images are sometimes so like out there that I'm like, I don't know. Is that what was really intended? This mermaid card. I love this card. Yeah. I want to do the tag like people did a tag like my mermaid decks or decks with mermaids in it. It Here's a mermaid card. I don't think I have. I think I maybe have one other. No, two. I have 2 other tarot decks that have mermaids in them. Rainbow. But yeah, this is what I've been using for my daily draws. And I set it up on my nightstand. I'll like prop it up for the day. Draw it in the morning and then prop it up for the day. I don't see it most of the day because I'm off at work. But when I come home, I can see it and then reflect what maybe happened. But yeah. So that's what's in my basket for the foreseeable future. I was planning to talk about some of the books I read in the last 2 months, but now I've decided against it. So trying to think anything notable. Notably, I finished A Picture of Dorian Gray. I've been trying to read that book for almost a full year now. And I just like will read a page and put it away. I got really frustrated with it, and then I was like, okay, if Oscar Wilde just wanted to write a this is what I think about society like paper, I would like it to be that rather than like, I don't know. Okay, no, I really think Oscar Wilde writes beautifully, and there was some really, really interesting stuff in there, and I could definitely see that he was trying to convey a message about the world through his writing. But then with that, expressive messaging about the nature of good and evil and selfishness and youth, the plot got lost for me. But I finally finished it, and I'm happy that I did because, you know, I'm always really proud of myself when I finish one of those classics that everyone says, oh, you have to read it. So I did. So that's a notable thing from the last 2 months. Finally finished that book. All right. This was my update. Bye-bye.